lining up now for the final in the vintage category. 3 heat wins for Gary Birtwistle during the heat stages ahead of Anthony Brown and Mike Fisher. It's a double points final, so it's not all to be determined. It's not a winner takes all with a single grid entry in the vintage class. As I said, Gary Birtwistle has the 9-point advantage coming into this one. The closer battle is for the third step on the podium between Mike Fisher, Andrew Smith and John Harrison. We've got a faller immediately off the line. Riders continuing for the moment at least, with Gary Birtwistle leading, Anthony Brown second, Rich Bearcroft in third, but the riders have now met the red flag to bring a stoppage to the race, and I don't suppose that that's too much of a surprise after we saw a faller immediately as we got underway, and 3 riders caught up in the carnage. And we will have a full restaging to the final in the vintage category, and hopefully none of the riders involved too worse for wear, and none of the machines, because that's always a risk in the vintage class as well. Hopefully all of the riders will be able to take their places in the restart here of the vintage final. So the riders lining back up again then. John Harrison, who had a great day yesterday, he's gradually improved through the 3 rounds of heats here today. Obviously each of the riders taking part on each of the different rows of the grid during the heat stages. And now those points will go towards determining their overall positions here at round number 7 of the 2017 campaign. Clutch of riders from 3rd position down to 7th, separated by just 9 points, so plenty can change with double points on offer for the final. Gary Birtwistle with a good start once again. Anthony Brown straight up into 2nd position. A pack of 4 riders tussling over 3rd. As I suggested there would be, 3rd is the most closely contested position in this final. At the moment it's Andrew Smith who holds that 3rd place. Only narrowly ahead of the chasing pack though, and he may even lose this 3rd position coming off the bottom bend. He does, he drops down to 4th place. John Harrison, meanwhile, is all the way down in 6th. A bit of a surprise to see him so far back in the pack. Rich Bearcroft up ahead of him. It's Gary Birtwistle who leads. Anthony Brown in 2nd. 3rd position here with David J. Webb. He was only 7th in the heat stages, but he's set for 3rd in this double points final, and that is going to change things in terms of the overall. As he's got the better of Andrew Smith, who occupies 4th. Now, if Mike Fisher doesn't fare too well in this one, that's going to enable him to retain potentially that 3rd position. It would take a lot of mental maths to work things out before we get to the end of this race, and we'll leave it up to the official result compilers to do that job, as John Harrison runs very, very wide on the bottom bend. Gary Birtwistle is away and gone out front. Anthony Brown has done his best to live with him, but can't do so. Gary Birtwistle continuing his march towards the title in the vintage class in 2017. Anthony Brown running a bit square there as well. It's getting really bumpy going in to this bottom bend now. In fact, I'd go further than bumpy, I'd say wavy. Still the number 34 holding station up in 4th position ahead of John Harrison, who has got the better now of Rich Bearcroft. Gary Birtwistle then takes the checkered flag. Anthony Brown home in 2nd. 3rd place with David J. Webb. His best result of the day. Will it see him onto the podium? Andrew Smith comes in behind him, and I would suggest that Andrew Smith may take the 3rd step on the podium there, despite finishing 4th in the race, as a result, obviously, of the double points grand final. Good result nonetheless for David J. Webb, and that will enable him to grab some extra points in championship terms. Riders making their way back towards the pit lane then, and no doubt about the top 2 finishers, both in that final and in the overall point standings here today. Gary Birtwistle coming out on top ahead of Anthony Brown in 2nd.